for larger scope, because larger scope you have to handle more fibrous tissue. So here we are very focused, particular. We just bang on the facet joint and goes immediately slide to the medial wall of the facet joint and go directly to the SAP. Upper part and mid part of the SAP, and just dissect the tissue where medial part of the SAP, and you can find some fibrous band. It may be ligamentum flavum or fibrosis of previous surgery. Once you carefully dissect that fibrous part, you can directly land to the lateral recess. After landing into the lateral recess, your job becomes very easy. So this is the video. In this discal cyst, there is a lot of yellowish inflammatory material comes out from that part, so you can see. And this is the beauty of endoscopy. You cannot see this inflammatory fluid and all this thing in your open eye. So this is the granulation tissue and wall of the discal cyst, and it's inflammatory. So inside, disc is avascular structure. But if you go with revision and this cystic kind of material, you will find that good amount of neovascularization there. And if you see in the X-ray, we almost reach the opposite side. And because our scope is 30 degree, so the most advantage of the scope is 30 degree. In the laminoscope, most of the scopes are around 12 to 15 degree. So I would prefer the transforaminal scope, around 30 degree scope in this case. So we remove the discal cyst, its wall, and you can see the complete decompression happens here. The root is nicely visible. We clear the axilla, we can clear the axilla and the shoulder also. Again, second advantage, during the surgery initial phase, you may not completely differentiate the tissue, but allows the water to trickle inside the space, epidural space. Once water trickle inside epidural space, all the tissue layers separated. So even though I feel initially I do all with microdiscectomy or even we do open surgery, but at that time it's air medium. So tissue differentiation with air medium is not that good. So sometimes we'll end up with renal tear or root injury. But in endoscopy, if you wait for some time, allows the water to trickle, it automatically separates the layer. For subsequent removal and decompression, it becomes very easy. So again, 51-year-old male with severe left leg pain since 2 months. History of L5S1 open lumbar disc surgery 10 years back, but no gallbladder involvement. Yes, he had a S1 left side weakness. You can see it's previous surgery and huge disc herniation recurrence. Again, there is a lot of fibrosis here, but even though we can manage very well with this surgery, just remember the principle: dock on the bone. First feel the bone, and then to decide your trajectory according to further course. So when I just dock and I remove that fibrous band of the lateral recess, just medial to the SAP, I found the fragment. So it was huge fragment. I removed in 3 or 4 parts, and after that removal that fragment, the surgery finished in 20 minutes. So even revision surgery you can finish in 15-20 minutes, provided you landed in perfect spot. And again, revision surgery is a little bit more bleeding happens than routine surgery. But if you carefully coagulate all the vessels, and in the one principle which I remember in endoscopy, even you find minute bleeding happens, you just coagulate. Don't allow that bleeding to become more, because once bleeding increases, then it obscures a field. And optics are not that designed to see the bleeding. In open surgery, sometimes we allow that bleeding to happen and we can coagulate to the end. But in endoscopy, whenever you find any bleeding spot, just coagulate. So this is the root. You can see nice decompression from as well in shoulder as well as in the axilla. And there is enough space laterally so that you can utilize that space also. So again, third case with 64-year-old male with persistent right leg pain since first surgery. This is a little bit different case. So he doesn't have a relief of symptom from first surgery. History of he underwent L4 and L5S1 endoscopic stenoscopic disc surgery 10 months back. So what we found in MRI, if you see carefully, hypertrophic superiorticular process here, and if you go down a bit here, that S1 root which is exit below the pedicle, it was pinched with the foraminal osteophyte. So the patient has persistent pain on that right leg pain. Even though we try one lumbar block, it relieves pain only for 1 month, but he doesn't get relief symptom. So this is sometimes very important in our primary surgery. So completely clear the coron. As Doctor, I just in UB lecture presentation, Dr. Adrian, he mentioned all 4 corner decompression. So we did. So I went again, and in this time, this is stenosis surgery. So because previous surgery we might have remove a bit of facet joint. So in this time, I dock on the lower lamina. So gradually go more cranially and identify the edge between lower lamina and the interlaminar window. Here this is a SAP. I remove this bone from SAP and lower lamina, and again I just clear that stenotic part and facet osteophyte. And after this surgery, since I think there are 6 months since first surgery, second surgery, patient doesn't come up with the again recurrent of same symptom on the right side. So important take home is facet and lower lamina is very important guide for the revision surgery. Facet joint on ipsilateral side glide medially or lower lamina glide cranially. Find the cut edge of SAP or lower lamina. You will find some fibrous band or flaval band running craniocaudal direction, almost look like root in the fibrosis. Carefully dissect the band and cut it. You will enter the lateral recess, and further job is very easy. Interlaminar revision surgery good for lower lumbar levels where because you don't need not to cut with facet and ligamentum flavum more. In higher level, you already did very good bony work. So when you do again revision at that point, you might end up with removing more facet and instability. So in again 154-year-old male with severe left leg pain since 2 months, but no motor weakness, and he had a surgery, open surgery in L4, L3, 4 level, 4, 5 level 7 years back. So he came with recurrent symptoms with L3 fortis on the left side with round magnetitis. So we did transforaminal decompression. In transforaminal decompression, you go inside the disc and you already, because this is a virgin area, because previous surgery was interlaminar, so it's very easy to remove the disc herniation, but because of previous surgery, there must be some epidural fibrosis, so carefully dissect the edge of the lower body here, down magnetic disc, so carefully dissect the lower edge of vertebra and epidural, dural thecal sac or PLL, whatever you call, and it's very easy to remove the disc here. So you can see the nicely pulsating thecal sac here. We removed 2 big fragments. Again, this is last case. This is open for discussion. 70-year-old male with left leg pain since 2 years, severe since last 6 months, not able to sleep due to pain. Daily medication for he has to take daily medication for pain. Pain was mainly located at the back of thigh, goes to till the leg. Tingling numbness in both legs, left is more than right, and no history of gallbladder, neurological DTR is brisk or preserved. He underwent surgery at thoracic level and lumbar level. All the lumbar level from L1 to L5, they have operated, they do the posterolateral fusion decompression. And they did also D11, D10, D9, 10, 11 thoracic decompression. But after surgery, patient says there is no relief my symptoms. Yeah, that walking instability and balance and numbness reduces, but pain is the same. So this is the MRI of same patient. I think some of us who came to the last World Neurological Conference have seen. This is a very good case. So this is open for discussion. Any other images you need? Severe left leg pain. Yes, sir.
L5S1 lateral recess left side.
Yeah, this one. Any other people, any other wants to say about upper fixation? This is thoracic. They need thoracic decompression also. And you can see the fixation at all the level and screw fixation in axial view. there is something here in facet joint. There is a facet joint osteophyte. Initially, it may be facet cyst which gradually become calcified and it become facet osteophyte. So you see on the left side, the lateral recess in lower part. Foramen is clean, but in facet joint middle and lower part, osteophyte becomes very thick. So the S1 root here, it's pinching. So it's not allowing even if he just keep his leg in a little bit in flexion position. So it doesn't allow it to keep you on extension. So very severe stenosis at this level. You can see upper forearm is relatively clean. So we look because he already have been operated with open surgery and his old age. So we just localize the pain first at alpha S1. We give only local lidocaine 1% lidocaine in the foramen. That relieved pain for at least 2 hours. So in 2 hours he is completely pain free. So then we diagnose that is alpha S1 which is causing pain on the left side. So we did alpha S1 intraocular endoscopic decompression. Now you see the root is very congested and inflamed. So once here I don't have a complete video, but this is see the cutting edge of SAP and lower lamina. So when we just try to remove the lower osteophyte, it was very small, very much inside the root. So root was completely flattened. Moment we remove that osteophyte, the root become very free, and now you can see the very much free movement of the root. So I feel if we have diagnosed and with the endoscopic decompression, otherwise we have to extend our fusion from, and we have to open again from L1 to S1, and we have to do the revision full surgery. So with the endoscopy, we just preserve that again big open surgery. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.